What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Here with a Bobby J Server 76 Scrim cast. Of course, I've got Doctor here with me, getting prepared for summer series. What's going on, man?
Pretty good, pretty pumped tonight. Getting back into scrims after a couple of days break. Everybody's a little bit rusty, just getting back into form right now.
Maybe I'll be rusty here tonight when we have to cast some Tempo Storm v Ancient Templar, two of the top teams in the region. Tempo Storm still going through some trialies right now. What do you think of their lineup?
Very interesting to see. Not too surprised seeing Tails there. Money's still pretty solid performing always on that diva role. Still working out where they end up with the rest of their picks. I'm pretty sure Ilim he's doing very well for them right now, so I doubt that one will be changing too soon.
Who do you think they'll potentially just run with this lineup when they get into summer series?
I think there may be one or two changes. I'm not too sure. There's a lot of options left for them right now. There's a lot of good players for them to go.
So you got to get through Ancient Templar here in these scrims here tonight as we get underway. Just here on the top side, the Biotic Grenade lands and a couple of members, including Sparky, who's quite low, who's taken out of the fight first. Spoons just misses the hook, and a lot of Ancient Templar is starting to run away, get a bit closer to the spawn. Some of them a little bit trapped here though, Doctor, and that's going to cost them their lives here with Mosh getting a double kill.
Yeah, a little bit slower to Ancient Templar getting to that top area, and then because they ran the mate, Tails there gets the Great Wall off, taking two of their tanks were stuck behind that wall. They had to put a lot of damage into that wall to get past it, and by then, the Bio Grenade came out, the freeze coming out from Tails, getting Sparky so low on that fight. There was not much really Ancient Templar could do since they were cut off by that wall.
On the top side now, in control with Tempo Storm, a couple of members dropped down. Mosh has been hit with a sleep dart though, he's quickly put back, he's quickly alive. It's Project. Going back down here, as Wivo does get the first kill on top of refs here in the exchange. Maywall's blocked my camera angle, so I'm going to get inside here as Termo picks up a nice double kill here with that Maywall, locking a lot of the members of Ancient Templar inside the checkpoint.
Yeah, and the big part of the follow-up of that was Ilim's Bio Grenade landing a lot of Ancient Templar members, and they just cleaned up from that. When you've got a player like Ilim landing nades like this, there's not really much you can do. They get that early Maywall off that did miss coming out from Tails. We did have Saf back up, coming through the little gap that was left. And they were just a little bit slow. They got to point, and by then, the next wall was ready to go. They really need to commit a lot quicker, especially if there is a May wall that is missed like that.
Ancient Templar going to go through the main entrance with a self-destruct from Terma being thrown right in amongst things. Very sorry for money. He doesn't get any members with it, as the rest of the fight's going to be happening on top of the checkpoint. Spoons and Flake do get one kill each, so it is in favor of Ancient Templar. They can keep this momentum up, they can cap this checkpoint, but Alim's still doing a good job staying alive, but as I say, that commentator's curse, his life's been taken away and the cap's going to be coming out from Ancient Templar.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that charge coming out of Mosh at the start of that was really worth it, because it took Sparky away with him, but he lost their main tank at the start of that fight, which for them, since they had the Earth Shatter advantage, they're actually going to go into this next fight. They lost that point with 5 ultimates. They haven't used a single ultimate yet, so they let that point go. Just purely on the fact that Mosh really just charged and traded himself unevenly there, when especially since they followed up with the fact they had the hog on the point there. So, a bit unfortunate for them there, that really unfortunate angle really to go through with that charge now. Ancient Templar, can they hold on to this point? They've gotten it back. If they lose this point, it's going to be very difficult for them to be able to come back and take it, especially being almost at 80%.
We've got a bit of extra percentage here, because we just saw Mosh get caught out. He charged in and very late into the fight because he died early, and we're going to have the fight happening again here with a self-destruct on the far side now. The sound barrier being popped by Tempo Storm pushing on here, and they're throwing in a Graviton Surge courtesy of Termo. A lot of people trapped inside of it here, and there's a Blizzard being thrown down as well. 4 members are frozen solid here of Ancient Templar, but Saphira throws in a Biotic Grenade to keep people alive, and there's a self-destruct happening on top of the point from Ancient Templar. Earth Shatter comes out from Sparky, going to land a lot of members down. They're going to win the fight, and that was a big Biotic Grenade landed by Saphira.
Yeah, that's fair. Landing that Bio Grenade onto that Graviton Surge May combo there, that didn't get anything done. Now it's going to delay the spawn of money there as he finally goes down at the end. So that's a lot of commit, but in the end, they did end up using their Earth Shatter from Sparky, when in reality, it probably wasn't needed. They needed to hold on to that, because right now, they're going to have to win a very convincing fight, because Earth Shatter and the boost ready for Tempo Storm here could be very easy for them to push in, especially if Tails gets a good wall off. They're able to get Mosh straight in there.
Tempo are going to push through the top side now, but Mosh is going to get charged by Sparky, but he finds himself in a lot of trouble. The Maywall went up, he couldn't get back out, and Spoons is now frozen solid, so the kill's coming up at Tempo Storm as they get back on top of the checkpoint. Project's still left alive, but the mech's been popped, and there's not enough members now for the defense for Ancient Templar, so they're going to have to let this one go.
Yeah, Ancient Templar are playing a little bit too aggressive that time. I thought they'd go in early, but if you go too early, especially against a May, And since the bubble was already on Mosh, they needed to wait a little bit longer, bait them out into the open, and then go for the engagement. They went a little bit too early, and then just losing Sparky so quickly, they turn around, they focus him down instantly, and from there, just that simple advantage of having it run out alive, and then Mosh just walks up the top and gets a 4-man Earth Shatter.
So it teams at the main entrance, but then inside of Graviton, the surge by Termo with a self-destruct there as well. Mosh lands an Earth Shatter, so a lot of ultimates coming out from Tempo Storm as they're at 99%, so they're going to win this fight, they're going to win the first cap here on Nepal.
Yeah, pretty convincing final closeout to the map there. They Graviton Surge. As they're all going in, they really need to face the defense matrix towards the team that's about to jump on them when they're going to push the point. Because it was a very easy grab. It's very obvious that that's going to happen, especially since he did build that second one up quite quickly, but he could have just anticipated that one there anyway. Eat that grab, they would have been able to get onto the point there, but they were a long way behind ultimate since it took them a lot to commit in the previous fight when they did have the point.
I feel that we had Ancient Templar, they were in control. They got the Graviton, Earthshatter, and Blizzard out of Tempo Storm. But when the fight happened, that caused Tempo Storm to recap towards the end. It was Sparky charging into that room and the top side and getting caught out.
Yeah, there was two things that led up to that. Well, one thing that led up to that, he had to use his Earthshatter, or he used his Earthshatter in the previous fight trying to hold on to the point. If he'd had that, he wouldn't have played as aggressively. But in a little bit of desperation, since they had no ultimates, they know they have to engage early on, but it was just way too early there. They really need to bait them into the open a lot further out.
We've got a clean slate now. It's a new round, a new point, and Mosh is going to be the first one to charge in. He's very deep here. He needs to be careful because his team's not with him. Sparky's holding up that shield. It does crack now. Mosh has still got the shield up, but he's got members behind him. Azalia's shield from Termo is going to help him, but not going to be enough. Sparky and Wuvo get a kill each now, so it's 6v4 on top of the checkpoint as Termo's got a bright grenade on top of him. Sparky's got one, but it's not going to matter too much. His rest of his team there to back him up, and it's going to be the first point being capped by Ancient Templar.
Yeah, this shows how key that Reinhardt is in this fight. When he charges so far away, and especially since he landed on the Diva, he did take out Spoons out of that mech, but it didn't end up getting that kill. And then he was isolated, and there was a couple of players that Ancient Templar just going straight on top of him. Wuvo did pick off Tails in the backline during that fight, so they lost that sustained damage they really needed. And from there, just taking that Reinhardt out, they keep their own one alive. They've got the shield to sit behind, whereas the opposing team of Tempo Storm really don't have enough to group up behind.
Pulse Bomb coming out from Wuvo, picks up a double kill, so the use of that early ultimate is going to pay dividends now. Ancient Templar, who are up to 25%. They're on the aggression now, starting to wrap behind Tempo Storm as Mosh gets pinned from behind by Sparky. He stays alive though, charges out, his life has been taken away, so Ancient Templar now are at 33%, Doctor.
Yeah, but Money was able to chase down Tails, but if he gets, chase down Project, but if he gets caught out of this mech early on, if he can survive, yeah, he's going to be able to survive just in time. That's really huge here right now for Tempo Storm.
But they get slammed down by Sparky's Earth Shatter, but Mosh does one better. He slams down Flake, who gets caught out pretty early on. Tails does go down in the hands of Wuvo, so it is quite even, but the Nanoboost is going to go on top of Sparky. He gets killed pretty quickly here, and that's going to be the trigger pull for Tempo Storm to get on top of the point and start capping.
Yeah, big waste of boost there since it was so low when it eventually landed on him. He's about 200, less than that 200 health. He would have been about 100 HP at that time. And now they're just able to put a huge amount of aggression here. Sparky's going to get caught out here again. They really need to fall back and stop bleeding in because Tempo Storm, they're going to apply that aggression. So losing Project on the backline there, I think it was an interesting play there to go so aggressively after Wuvo got that pulse bomb off. You got two picks with it trading for one, but that only gets you ahead by one member, and they're a lot closer to the spawn of Tempo Storm. And it was a long way to wrap around to get behind them, and from there, they played an interesting play, but it just didn't get enough from it. There's
Graviton the Surge on a couple of members on the back line of Ancient Templar. Money throws down self-destruct. He does get one kill, but it's a very sporadic fight now, which is going to play into the hands of Tails, who can start shooting a lot of members one by one. But his life's been taken away by Spoons on the far side with a self-destruct as the fight continues here on top of the checkpoint. Sparky's a bit too deep now. He's not in enough healing range. Nope, Saphira's adjusted his position, throwing down a Graviton Surge now with the help of Project, who's got the Nano Boost on top of Mosh Tempo Storm, and he needs to be careful. He's moving back out now. He's quite low. The shield's beginning to crack here. As Flake's moved up quite aggressive to try and take out Mosh. He's been forced out of the fight. Money's the only one on top of the checkpoint for Tempo Storm. He gets pinned up against the wall from Sparky, pops the map, and the cap's going to come back here for Ancient Templar, unless Mosh can get back on top of the checkpoint.
Yeah, Mosh not able to get back there in time. Probably okay. He needed to die there since he was so far up. He needed to make sure that he fall back and respawn. They're going to keep chasing you for Tails here, but I doubt he's going to get away from this now. They took down, Mosh got so low in that fight. Ancient Templar didn't clean him up, which they really needed to do in that previous fight. But it forced him back so far that they were able to play that advantage behind their Reinhardt. And it was looking very shaky there because Mosh could have got a really good Earth Shatter off. But Project staying alive, really big key factor. That early Graviton Surge that held them on the point. They were able to group up behind. Then they had the beats. They had the beats advantage because sound barrier was used a lot earlier by refs. Flake follows it up, and they use that HP advantage to win them the next fight.
Both teams have 2 ultimates, with Tails and Mosh having the Tactical Visor Earthshatter combination, which is crucial for Templar Storm to get back on top of the checkpoint. But they get slammed down by Sparky's Earthshatter. He's got the Nano Boost on top of him. Wuvo gets the Pulse Bomb off just in time for that combination. Gets a double kill, and it's all Ancient Templar right now. 99%. Only money remains on top of the checkpoint. If he can survive long enough for Templar Storm to get back, they have a fighting chance, but it's not going to happen. The mech's been popped. He's taken out, and the first cap of Nepal for Ancient Templar is going to happen right now on the second phase.
Yeah, big charge there by Sparky and that boost by Saphira there. Mosh was going for that Earthshatter. It connects just in time, forces him at the wall, and that allows Sparky himself to get his own Earthshatter off. Puts the rest of the lineup of Tempo Storm on the floor. Wuvo chucks a nice easy pulse bomb to a few of their players grouped up there at the end, and they're able to clean up at the end. So really big comeback from Ancient Templar right now. Maybe a little bit more confident going into this next point now that they've managed to take 1 point off Tempo Storm.
And this is going to be the last point here in Nepal, as in scrims we usually do a best of 3 here, Doctor. So this is going to see who is going to take away Nepal here tonight in the scrims between Tempo Storm and Ancient Templar.
Yeah, just say best of 3, because sometimes you do best of 3, sometimes you do best of 5. It really just depends if the team is really just wanting to practice a lot of different maps, because it can be really quick if you just do a quick best of 3 and then get another set of amount of scrims in, because you can usually slot an extra best of 3 cough map in amongst 2 other payloads or hybrids.
Both teams going to go for the higher ground now. As the Sleep Dart lands on Termo. He's quickly awoken though. Just eyeing each other off now. Sparky Shield's the one to begin to fall down first, but he charges in with the help of Azalea Bubble. And Brozet's going to take down Mosh. Sparky gets Sleep Darted though, and he gets taken out by Money. So it's still 5-on-5 now. So Tempo now pulling away just yet, Doctor, but the cap is going to be coming up from Ancient Templar first.
Yeah, losing both Sparky and Mosh in those fights, so just a little bit in the favour of Ancient Templar, since they were able to turn around and deal with Termo, who was isolated on the point there. So he got caught out at the end there, so Jay able to fall back, deal with him. He did survive a little bit by using the heal. It meant that he delayed his next spawn back in. And Wuvo right now just running amok right now amongst the Tempo Storm lineup.
He's distracting the tanks, and he takes out a limb as well, so it's going to be quite difficult for Tempo Storm not to be able to play with a limb till he gets back, and Sparky takes out Ref. So no supports for Tempo. They're going to have to go back to their spawn point.
Yeah, just that early pick onto refs, and then Elim just taking out those healers is so important, especially when he's landing so many offensive fire grenades. You don't typically use that nade defensively all the time. You really want to deny that healing.
There's a Graviton Surge now from Project right in the doorway of the spawn point at Tempo Storm's entry point, and that's going to be a double kill for Spoons and Sparky. Just Money left. They're going to pop the Mac. A nice easy defensive hold there, trapping a lot of people through the doorway.
Yeah, it's going to be a late death here on Money, but Wuvo getting caught out here, so they're going to have to back away, because that's really close to the spawn of Tempo Storm, so they're going to have to fall back, let Wuvo come back to them, unless they go for a little sneaky play here right now with Sparky sitting in a great spot for an Earthshatter if they all come out at the same time.
It's just Termo there though, and Sparky hasn't given away his position. He stayed there the whole time, but I think he's been spotted now with Tails. Nope, it's Reps that spots him, and Sparky lands down on Earthshatter. Reps is going to fall down, and that self-destruct does not get through the doorway. Does take out Reps though, and the limb's fallen down, so that's both supports for Tempo Storm down, and then you can just see Ancient Templar just running around, killing people at will now because there's no supports to keep people alive.
Yeah, that play there, sitting Sparky behind them, he was in a great spot if they did come out that door. In the end, they commit to it, and the really important factor is he got refs and Elim on the floor. He's able to follow that up immediately with a charge, take out that healer, take out that bio grenade, then follow it up with the rest of their players. Wuvo once again doing a really good job on this Tracer still.
There's there's a lot of ultimate. Everyone's got an ultimate for Tempo Storm, so now's the time to get on top of the checkpoint. 92% against their team, but the whole hog's going to come out here from Termo, pushing a lot of people to get some space. They do get the cap now with the help of that whole hog. Nano Boost is on top of Mosh. He's swinging away. He hit the self-destruct from Money. He gets a double kill. Wuvo does get one back on top of Money, who's still alive on top of the checkpoint. He's got Mosh in his sights now. They can take out Mosh. Ancient Templar can start capping now, but Mosh ends up slamming Wuvo on the head with the sledge. He's still left alive, but Spoons is putting a lot of pressure down on him. He takes out Mosh. Termo's not there to save him, but the rest of Tempo is starting to come back onto the checkpoint now.
Yeah, Tempo is starting to slowly build their numbers advantage here, but Tails was forced to use his tactical visor there to finally clean up the player Project, who was sitting right on top of him there. So forcing that ultimate out means that Ancient Templar have a nice big ult advantage here, and especially going into this combo like a Graviton Surge and Pulse Bomb, they could very easily wipe Tempo Storm quite quickly here, as long as this Graviton Surge isn't eaten up.
Mosh is going to start things off. He charges, but he misses here on the stairwell. He's forced to move back towards his team, but Sparky has got a double kill here in the backside, and the Graviton Surge is going to be the rest of the members of Tempo Storm caught on top of the checkpoint. They're going to start falling down one by one. It's just Refs and Tails left alive. They've both been taken out, so the cap's going to come back to Ancient Templar.
Yeah, that charge through was really well done by Sparky in the end there. He was able to charge through, get the Earth Shatter on the back line of Tempo Storm, and that Graviton Surge actually helped players on the point, so Mosh wasn't able to do anything to help save the rest of his team. Right now, Tempo Storm, they're bleeding in right now, but will they be able to consolidate their numbers on the point? As Tempo's doing a great job to stall this out.
Hey, he kept it alive for quite a long time, and he's allowed Mosh some money to get on there, along with Refs and a limb, so Termo saving the day for Tempo Storm. They do have to deal with the self-destruct from Spoons. Not going to pick up any members. His Tails does get a kill on top of Wubo, so that's a lot of the damage down for Ancient Templar, but it's not going to matter here, as Ancient Templar do end up getting the cap, as people from Tempo Storm just walked off the checkpoint.
Only just, I think that was a Diva boot that actually ended up sending Mosh far enough away from the point there. So really well done by that in the end. Just that boot pushed him just off, like in that little corner. So that was actually quite lucky in the end. The ultimate bout of Spoons there, I think it was, on the Diva, didn't get anything, but it was enough that it pushed him away and they were able to finally close that point.